How are you? What's going on?
I'm doing well. It's the weekend, so can't complain.
Of course, of
How are things
course.
in New York?
It's definitely rainy out here. A little gloomy weather, but things are good.
Nice. So, yeah, I was taking a listen to your upcoming EP, Broken Down, and yeah, it's 6 solid tracks.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that comes out December 18th.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was kind of listening to it. It has like some heavier rock stuff like Come Back, Suffice and Go, and then there's some tracks that kind of combine like modern contemporary sounds that you would hear.
definitely for
Can you
sure.
talk a
Yeah.
little bit about, how you approach the sound and the vibe of the EP?
Yeah, so when like No Shade first kind of started, like I was kind of experimenting a lot with sounds and I didn't know exactly what I wanted No Shade to be. Like it started off like my first song, it's called Drama. It was straight up just like an experiment with a friend of mine that we were kind of just like messing around with different beats and stuff. And I had always like played rock music pretty much since I started playing guitar. And we kind of were just like, oh, like whatever, like we'll mix up like hip hop beats and like rock music and we'll try it out. And like we really dig the sound. So that's how like the whole like genre bending stuff started. But then as I started to write more for No Shade, like some songs worked more as like alt dark kind of like popish vibes with like hip hop beats, and some songs just worked as like really heavy, like Bring Me the Horizon kind of stuff. So like,
Yeah,
it just somehow worked out that way.
it's really cool. No, I think it's very fun and interesting when people combine different genres and to the point where you can't really pinpoint how to describe it. It's like you
Yeah,
can't categorize it. And I think a lot of people are, trying to stay away from genres and say genres don't matter. It's about the music and whether or not you dig it.
yeah, I definitely relate to that like 100%. When I was writing, like the process of Broken Down, I feel like took like so long. Like I was working on that EP forever, and like I was always asking myself, like, oh, are people gonna like associate this with like this, or are people just gonna like take it for what it is? And like I kind of like grew into learning like not to think about like what the genre is. Like if it's No Shade, like it is No Shade, you know?
Exactly. And so you started learning guitar through an adverse situation. So how long have you been playing guitar? And
Well, I've been playing guitar forever, like since I was like a kid, but there was like a lot of times where I'd put it down and like start doing other stuff, but there was a time in my life I played in like a lot of different bands and stuff, and like I had gotten through a breakup and like I wasn't playing music for kind of like a while, and I just picked up like practicing guitar again, and I was still like producing a little bit at the same time, and once I started getting back into it, like I knew like I should start my own project, so that's how like No Shade kind of became about.
very cool. And what were like your biggest musical influences when were growing up and
I definitely was like earlier in my life, I definitely listened to like a lot of more like older classic rock, like AC/DC, that kind of stuff, like Kansas, and like just like regular like shredding, like as they say, like Guns
nice?
N' Roses, like Slash kind of stuff. So that's like how I kind of picked up like mainly guitar. But then like as I got older, like I've played in bands where like very like Foo Fighters influenced stuff, and then I started getting into like that modern era of like alternative music, and just kind of like learning from that. That's how like I started to get the influences of No Shade, like big Linkin Park kind of chords and like those big like choruses, you know.
And you grew up in New York City or in the New York area?
I'm in Long Island.
Okay.
I've definitely like in the past like 2 years have spent like decent amount of time like in New York City, like um, kind of just like trying to expand like where I've been. I definitely like I didn't want to stay like trapped in Long Island all my life. It's like it's cool over here, but like I've always had plans to like move out of like at least Long Island. Like I don't want to stay here my whole life, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, being in New York City, there's probably no lack of music, and you could probably
Yeah, that is definitely for sure.
any given night you could find something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there a few times as a visitor, but I'm not sure if I could handle it living right in
Oh,
New York
it's
City.
yeah. Every time I go there, like I just realize like how hectic and crazy it
Yeah.
is. Like it seems so cool to visit, but like I'm sure the people that live there like definitely can get stressed out easily with all like the like what's going on over there.
Yeah, actually, Facebook reminded me of something that happened 2 years ago on a certain given day, and I was in New York City, and it was around Christmas time, so there was so many tourists, and I remember getting stuck in a standstill for like 30 minutes,
Yeah.
and people were like, "You should just turn around. You know, it's not worth worth going to see the Christmas lights and stuff."
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a
Definitely.
good time.
Yeah.
So what was, do you remember like the very first concert you ever went to?
Oh my God. The first, like, I mean, the first concert I went to, like, I was like a kid. I went to go see Carlos Santana, and like
Oh wow.
that, like, for like me as a kid, like learning guitar, like that was definitely like a huge, like, oh my God, like this is my hero. But then, like, I want to say, like, around like early high school, I went to go see Pierce the Veil, and that was like, that was the show that I was like, I need to do this for like the rest of my life. Like, no doubt about it. Like, this is what I want to do.
Do they have moshing at their shows or no?
They do, yeah,
Oh
for
yeah.
sure. That was like, like for that to be like my first like concert experience by myself, like without like parents or anything, like that was definitely kind of crazy and like a little scary. But honestly, like I was just so hyped for it that I was like, oh my God, like this is crazy. Like even though these fans literally want to like kill each other right now, like they're going in, like they're very passionate about this band.
No, I remember I was a teenager and I went to like a Warped Tour type show and there were crowd surfers and
Yeah,
moshes going on. I remember I got kicked in the head.
it definitely happens. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry that happened, but
Well,
yeah,
no,
that
it was a fun show, but no, I remember being scared, like, oh my gosh, someone's gonna kill me.
yeah.
No, but those are fun. And what's your like biggest dream as a musician?
Right now, I mean, as a musician, like I'd love to be able to like play shows. Like right now, like No Shade kind of recently started, like end of 2019, and like as like when I first started No Shade, like I wanted to be able to play like cool, like big shows, but obviously with COVID, that's very difficult. And like
Mm.
I'm trying to set like small goals right now. Like EP was definitely like a big landmark for me. Like that was kind of like the big checkpoint where I'm like, okay, like now, like No Shade is serious, and I want to be able to do live shows. Obviously, that can't happen right now. Merch is a big thing for me. I definitely want to get merch out by like probably like around February. I want to have like a decent amount of like cool merch. Um, but honestly, like I don't care if No Shade like got huge. I don't care if it stayed small. Like as long as like it influences some people. Like for the first time ever, like I actually had people hit me up and be like, "Wow, like your music like has like changed my life like for the first time." And it was such a shock to me. Like I never thought I'd ever experience anything like that. So
Yeah, that must be like one of the best feelings in the world to know that your art, something that came from you, is like affecting other people in a positive way. Yeah.
exactly, it was like just hearing that like it made me think to myself, like I sat in my bedroom and like wrote that like with my guitar and my voice, and like I recorded it, and somehow like someone found it and was like, this is amazing. Like that, it just blows my mind.
Yeah. Also goes to show the power of the internet, you know? Like
Yeah,
you can put something on there and it can reach people, you know, thousands of miles away.
yeah, for sure.
No, but it seems like you're off to a good start with No Shade.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, I honestly like um the first couple songs like I put out like were kind of like what I would call like demos. Like they're nothing like crazy, but then I realized like I wasn't doing as much as I should for something that I wanted to take so seriously. Like when I would listen to like my own songs, like obviously I didn't want to be like, oh, these are the best songs ever. Like they're just songs that I was putting out and like kind of testing the waters. And like I realized like I should really take the time to learn how to like produce them well and like play them well. So like I spent I want to say like 4 or 5 months, just like not putting out music and just perfecting that. And like on the EP, Alone and Suffice were already put out earlier this year. They sound like night and day. Like compare, like not saying like, oh my god, I got so good at producing, but like definitely from the time that I had originally put out those songs, like you would never be like, oh my god, that's like the same person. Like it's like a very big difference.
So it sounds like more enhanced, or just the
Yeah,
quality is a little bit better.
I would say like I definitely like I wanted to stay true to that song because like the way it's like, or at least those two songs, when they were written, like they were written a specific way, and like I didn't want to like lose that touch. But especially with Suffice, like Suffice, when I had written it, I was getting really into like the new Machine Gun Kelly stuff, and I wanted a song that sounded like that. I didn't want to directly copy him, but like I liked how he was like kind of like getting into that pop punk kind of scene.
Yeah,
And
he totally switched it up.
exactly,
But it
yeah.
works for him. It definitely works.
I never would have expected it. Like, I mean, I know that he's done like some kind of like rock stuff in the past, but this is definitely a great path for him. But I had just taken like such a big influence to that, and I remember the first like Suffice project in my computer it's literally called MGK type beat. Like I was like, I definitely want like something pop punk style. And like the first one was okay, like it, but it just, I think I produced it way too quick. Like the time it took from when I wrote it to like when it became like the original song was like too short. Like I definitely should have spent more time. So at like when I knew that I wanted to do the EP and I wanted Suffice on there, like I was like, okay, Suffice is a great song, but like let's completely like rework it, like same chords, same lyrics, same everything, but like make it more No Shade. And like I kind of took a step back, like thought to myself like, what is No Shade? And I realized like I should probably put some more like trap stuff in there, some like more like little melodic stuff, and it's got a completely different intro. Like it's got those trap drums, it's got the 808s, but it's still got like that big boomy like punk rock sound, kind of like that new MGK vibe, you know.
Very cool. I really dig it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And do you use Logic or Pro Tools when you're producing?
Right. So right now I do use Logic. I've been using Logic forever. I've been trying to experiment with like other programs, but I think Logic just makes the most sense, at least to me. Like my best friend uses FL, and like he's like a wizard with it. Like he uses it so quick, but at the same time, like I want to be able to learn all those programs, but at the same time, Logic just makes so much sense to me. I'm able to make stuff so quickly. So
No, I know a lot of people who use Logic and enjoy it.
yeah,
That's awesome.
definitely a great program.
So what should people keep an eye out in the next coming months?
Well, definitely EP 18th. Hopefully merch soon. I would like it to be sooner than February. I have like a few like ideas and stuff that I've already kind of like started already.
Like beanies or t-shirts?
Beanies, sweaters, like there's like a ton of stuff, but it's got some really cool designs on it, which
Cool.
is nice. Hopefully, I'm thinking after the EP, like there's a song that I've been working on that has a feature on it, and hopefully like that when that becomes like, you know, more of like a thing, like that's definitely a song I'm very excited about. So even after the EP, like there's music that I'm super stoked for 2021.
Nice. Very excited for you.
Thank you so much.
Well, it's been a pleasure chatting.
Yes,
And
very
can't
nice
wait
meeting
to,
you.
You know, once the EP drops, can't wait to see what comes up next. And yeah, fingers crossed that, you know, live shows will begin again. 'Cause
Yes.
I'm dying for it to
Yeah,
come back, and so we can all enjoy it.
definitely, for sure. It was very nice meeting you.
Yeah, likewise. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
You as well. Have a good one.